This is the Mystical Sisterhood. Say hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm Chris. Top left-hand corner on my screen is Jamie. Is that right? Good. We got Ashley Bradley. Hello, Ashley. And then Ashley Fuller. Now, since we have two Ashleys, say hi, Ashley Fuller.
Hi.
Okay, there you go. I'll refer to you as your S. Fuller. And
That's okay.
I'm Brad. All right. And I'm Chris. I'm the case manager. And if you've been following everybody on Facebook, this is our first version, I guess. Our first, it's not a full investigation, obviously, but we have those scheduled. But since the lovely Corona-19 decided to screw everybody's lives up, we're doing it this way to start off. So thanks everybody for following on Facebook, by the way. Continue to do that. We got some questions that both Ashley's and Jamie's going to answer for you, and also going to explain what we're going to be doing with the new TV series that's going to be coming up. Of course, we'll normally have an episode here for you and this is how we're going to do it. And correct me, Jamie, if there's any changes I'm not aware of, but I'm going to be the actual person that goes out, interviews the people who have requested some help, be it through a personal, their private home or business or whatever. I do the initial interview with them, get the information together, do not share any of that with the three young ladies, keep that to myself. And then later they go in, see what's going on. They get their impressions of the house, of the business, whatever's going on. And then after that, we all meet together again and everyone shares their impressions, the feelings that they had and so forth. And then I will reveal what I know about the particular case to the Mystical Sisters. And then we go back and meet with the family. And at that point, the family, basically the business owner, will decide whether or not they're going to try to get whatever is there to leave with the help of these young ladies, or if they're okay, if it's a nice one, just being a part of their family. So did I miss anything?
Well, I mean, I think what makes us different is that all three of us each have a very specific skill set that, you know, we all work well together, because my methods for crossing a spirit over are not the same as, say, Ashley Bradley down there, the bottom of your screen. Her methods are different than mine, and they may work, in one circumstance, but maybe not so well for another. So part of the reason that we want to break it up into two different visits and not just knock everything out at once is so that we each have the opportunity to assess the situation, decide which of our skill sets, would work better, in that particular situation, and then we have this Ashley who, is a phenomenal communicator. So she's going to have our backs all the time, no matter what, hearing everything that's going on that we may miss. So, that's kind of what sets us apart, I think. Do you guys agree?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, agreed. Plus we do Reiki, so we throw that in there.
Right. Yeah, and I know people have probably seen on some of the shows, like that are out now, where they're recommending, that you call a Reiki master, and they're starting to recognize that as a viable resource to help, seal and protect your home and your family from this sort of thing. So the fact that we're all Reiki masters makes it just that much more
Cooler.
Yeah, there you go.
I think that's drastically helped, though, like since becoming a Reiki master over the past couple of years, when we do investigations or go to like house cleaning and stuff. House clearing, sorry, not cleaning your house. That has helped so much. I can tell a huge difference going in there. It's a much more, I don't know how to explain it. It's just a more, like, my head is more clear if I use my Reiki while doing everything.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The clarity is that much more precise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with the information. So I can agree with that.
And there were people who sent in, I don't know if you want to start going to questions, but you mentioned that all of us here, including myself, are Reiki masters, and Jamie was our teacher. And I know we had someone that, asked the question, what is Reiki and a Reiki master? So I guess we'll just go ahead and start with that. Now would be a good time to explain that if anybody's not familiar with it.
Okay. Reiki is just, in a nutshell, like it's an energetic healing of sorts, but when I say healing, you can use it for anything. It can be used to facilitate healing within the body. It can be used to clear negative energy in a space, which is, that's the use that we are applying for our show, is to clear space and basically create an energetic seal that will keep entities that are not of the light from being able to cross in and out through that energetic seal. So as far as how we're using it in our show, I think that's probably the simplest explanation. Can you guys elaborate at all, do you think?
Sometimes the way that I explain it to people is I'm kind of just using my energy to pull the bad from you, I guess, like pain or hurt, anything like that, and kind of just releasing it out, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, that about sums it all up.
Yeah, well, I feel like it also helps us tune in a little bit better as well, because one thing that the Reiki attunements do, and they actually change the way that your body perceives energy. So, yeah.
That is very true.
So when somebody I have on a table, when I'm doing a one-on-one, healing energy work with them, you can pick up those little tiny energetic changes that happen in illness. And it works the same way in a house. Mm-hmm. If you walk into a room where there is, whether it's an active energy or if it's just a residual energy, it's a lot stronger, at least for me, started doing Reiki. Mm-hmm. So I feel like my accuracy is definitely amped up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah, definitely. Before I could just kind of like feel certain things, but now being attuned to everything, it's like I kind of mirror everything. Like I'll feel exactly what that person is, almost like a mirror. And same thing with the house. Like I feel like I just kind of am drawn to certain areas more than I ever have been before.
Well, for me, it's kind of like a pool, like I guess an energetic pool. When I feel like there is like a source of whatever haunting or whatever is going on, and I can feel like a kind of a pool, and I just kind of go in that direction, and then that's where I kind of start picking up all the information.
Right. I call that my belly magnet. Like it literally feels like a magnet. It's like pulling me toward the right direction. Like
exactly what it is.
That's my belly magnet. I know that's because there's a magnet in there. I don't know.
Yeah, I always trust my gut. So exactly.
Literally, yeah.
Well, you all, I'm going to try this screen share on here so y'all can see this other question that came in, because I'm sure you all personally, individually have received this question probably quite a bit. Let's see here. I'm still getting used to this new fangled system. How did you all meet, and what was it like when you realized each had similar gifts?
Okay, well, let's start with Ashley Bradley. We've actually known each other well.
Now you said Ashley Bradley, but pointed to Ashley Fuller.
Oh no, and I'm sorry. On my screen, she's right below you.
Sorry, mine's different.
I'm Bradley.
Okay. We can't get away from each other.
No, we can't. Like it's kind of
the universe is like, nah, you're not done with her. We went to the same dance school when we were kids. We grew up, and she knew my mama and my family, and so, and then of course, life happens and we all go different directions. And then you and I, Chris, were working with Tom, and Ashley had called Tom for us to come check out a situation at her house.
Right.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
it
hey,
was a
this is
very
there
intense.
you are.
Situation.
So yeah, we got to talking, and yeah, that kind of passed. We didn't talk for a while again until Ashley signed up for my Reiki courses,
Mm-hmm.
and pretty much from that point forward, we've been together. So
Yep.
and then the way that I met the other Ashley is, what were you, 15?
I just turned 16.
Yeah.
I was a wee little tater tot.
Yeah, baby Ash. So they were having some, and correct me if I tell this story wrong, because I know it's been a long time. I'll try to remember it the right way. You guys were having some activity in your house, and you called a paranormal research group that I was actually not a part of. I actually did not know that this gentleman. I knew his sister. It was kind of a friend of a friend situation. But he called and he was like, I feel like I need you to come in on this case. And he was like, listen, we don't normally do this. We're normally a real scientific group. We don't use mediums. But he said, something in me is telling me you need to be a part of this. And I was like, that's really weird. Like, who is this guy? Like, how did you get my phone number, dude? No, John is a super nice guy, and I'm so glad that I met him. It's not weird in any. But of course, not knowing you guys or anybody, Chris was like, you're not going by yourself. That's not happening. So he, of course, they were glad to have him. They weren't, it wasn't an imposition at all, I think. So yeah, we went to your house to do an investigation, and it didn't take long to figure out that your house wasn't the problem. It was definitely you.
It was me.
Ashley, you were the issue the whole time.
The whole time. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. And just ever since then, you've kind of taken me under your wing and taught me the ways and showed me the ropes and everything and the best way to handle things. And you gave me the option at first. You were like, do you want to just completely drown this out and not do it? Or do you want to go with it? And I was like, let's go. Sign me up.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, so she's pretty much been, even though she's taller than me, I still call her my mini-me.
Yes.
So, but I have to say my favorite thing about taking Ashley on investigations, Ashley Fuller, is that she startles so easily. It's so fun. Like,
it's something that nobody ever understands, that I can talk to dead people like nobody's business and probably talk to more spirits than I do living people daily. But I am so scared of the dark and I jump so easily. Everybody knows it and it doesn't make any sense.
all right.
Okay. Would you like to answer another question, or did we tell you how I met you all?
You go ahead. How'd you meet us?
Well, I met you, as in Jamie we were asked to get our opinion on some reported haunted locations in LaGrange. So that's how we actually met. We worked together on investigations for some locations that are now on the Spirits of LaGrange walking ghost tour. And we've also worked on.
Oh, yeah, that's not right.
I could never be right.
No, we did do that, but
yeah, I was there. I remember seeing that happen.
But before any of that happened, before we did any of the ghost tour stuff, that you guys, you're paranormal researchers of Ohio Valley guys. You guys came to my house because you were working on some stuff in LaGrange, and that was before.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was not doing this talking to dead folks thing, and your all's medium that you used in your group, she walked in and she was like, why am I even here? Why aren't you just dealing with this? And I was like, because I'm not gonna. It's not happening. But here we are. But yeah, at the time, I was, I called your all's group in to handle the situation because I knew the content, but I don't want to do it. All right. Anyway, how about the other girls? Them.
Yeah, well, I was with you on both investigations. That's how I met both Ashley Bradley and Ashley Fuller. So, and I do remember Ashley Fuller, yeah, that place was pretty wild where you were living at the time. And when Jamie told me straight up, it's her, I was like, okay.
It's probably because that was a very rough time in my life anyway. So I think there was a lot of other things going on too that just kind of like amplified the whole situation. It was just kind of like everywhere.
Exactly. Y'all want to answer another question that someone had sent in on your Facebook page?
Sure, but I want to add something real quick. I met Ashley Bradley through Jamie's Reiki class, and she shared her snack with me, and it was very good. And it was the heart of palms or whatever that was.
Yeah,
gosh, they were so good.
I just ate some a little bit ago, as a matter of fact. Yeah,
and that's how we became friends, over snacks, of course.
Yeah, snacks always works.
There is palm in my cabinet right now, and I will blame Ashley Bradley for that. I have two jars of palm because I've been an addict ever since she shared her snacks.
Right? I never knew they even existed, and then boom, there.
That is such a wholesome family story. I love it.
Right?
It makes me feel love.
It's for the Brady Bunch right now.
Yeah, the Brady Bunch. All right, I'm going to go over here and find another one of these questions. Let's see what we got here.
Yes.
Okay. Jennifer writes you and says, in January, she saw her first full-bodied spirits. In February, a series of unwanted events happened, and she had to empty her storage unit into her living room. This brought in a lot of energy and a lot of issues within herself that put her in a tailspin, she says. I'm sorry, my battery light just came on. She saw a lot of light anomalies there, 2 more full-bodied spirits. And you can see her question there. How does she stay grounded or remove enough of the effective in understanding why these people are with her? She says she had a Reiki instructor clear her apartment, but she would have liked a better understanding of who may have been there and why.
Well, I mean, my best guess would just be that it was some sort of object attachment. You know, had to, clear out that storage stuff and put it in our apartment. Who knows what could have come with that.
Plus, she said she was amped up energetically, so she would be open and more susceptible to whatever she was bringing into, whatever energy she was tapping into.
Yeah.
Right. And basically, being a battery.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. As for why or who, I can't come up with that. Personally, I don't.
Yeah, right. I don't know how you guys are. I'm not really wearing my reading hat right now. Right. I'm not.
Yeah.
But just for some general ideas, knowing what I know, I would say it sounds like a case of object attachment, with her emotional state feeding it like a battery.
Yeah, that's my impression.
Yeah, mine too.
So Jordan wants to know, how did you all first know you had a gift?
I'll go, I guess. I guess I was, I don't know, I was a little kid, and I was just, talking about, stuff, and people didn't know what I was talking about, and I was just like, yeah, kind of like talking about spirits and stuff, and they just kind of thought I was nuts. So then I realized that not everybody can see what you can see. I don't know, I guess when I was having like certain instances, and I would have like certain spirits come into my room and stuff at night, and I would tell adults, and they were like, no, nobody was coming in. And I was like, yeah, actually there was. So I guess after that, I just kind of learned that that I was a little different than some other kids.
All right. Well, for me, I was probably about 10 before I realized that not everybody experienced the world the way that I did. I had a hard time understanding why people kept telling me I had such a great imagination, or, even went as far as to say I was a liar, and I learned, and through puberty it was terrible, because I don't know how it was for you guys, but like that whole hormone change like was an influx of insanity from the dead folks. So that was a really hard time to not be able to tell people, what you're experiencing, or to be told that you're lying and you're already like emotionally charged anyway. So, I did my best to shut it down. I hated it. I ignored them. I would do my best to just pretend like they weren't there, until I realized that my children as babies, I saw some of the same things in them, in myself, and that's when I realized I was going to have to do this, because I didn't want them to feel like I felt as a kid, in case they did want to make this a part of their life. And of course, I would never force them to, but I wanted to make sure I was a support person for them. So anyway, that's kind of how it was. It wasn't realizing that I had a gift per se, because that's not what I thought of it as at all. At all. It was more of a, when did I realize that everybody else didn't? That was how it was. And it kind of sounded like it was like that for you too, Ashley, like when you were little. To not, it's almost like navigating backwards, to not tell people how you're experiencing the world. So
Exactly.
all right, Ashley Fuller.
I don't know what age I was, but I guess we just had a lot of death surrounding us when I was younger. I was pretty young when I went to my first visitation, and I remember from then on out, any visitation I went to, any funeral, burial, anything like that, I always felt the person who had deceased talking to me. And in my head, I mean, I was young, I thought that I was a psycho. I was like, why am I thinking that this dead person is talking to me? Like, they would tell me all these things, who they missed, who they loved, like what they were doing when it happened, like anything like that. And I always thought that something was seriously wrong with me, and that it was not normal that people thought that way. And I was raised, there's nothing wrong with it, but I was raised in a very black and white Catholic family. So certain things that I was experiencing were kind of against those beliefs. Like, I don't want to say like playing God or anything like that, but there was just certain things that I didn't talk to people about, because I didn't want to get in trouble. I guess in my younger mind, that's what I thought, that I'd get in trouble if I said these things. But I had night terrors for a long time, and I've always been an emotional person, probably due to my empath abilities. But even as a child, I was very, very emotional. And looking back on it, I think it was probably picking up on everybody's emotions and junk that they carry around with them. And especially through puberty, that was probably the worst time in my life to go through everything, because of what was happening in my life. And then also all of my abilities just kind of like flew and hit me. Like I ran into a brick wall. It was just kind of like, whoa, this is here. This is what my life is. But it's great.
Okay, now the first episode in this new series, we had to postpone, obviously, with this COVID-19 situation. Now, as I mentioned at the very beginning, my role in this is to act as the case manager, which means I'll do research, interview whoever's involved ahead of time, and get all this information together. And then the girls, once they do their walkthroughs and they actually visit whatever location we're dealing with, they get their impersonations there. Now, the case we're currently working on, we were supposed to shoot the episode on last week. Again, it's postponed. I did not tell anybody about the information. The only thing I have shared with Jamie were some pictures with no backgrounds. I just sent her these pictures. The person who's having this issue sent them to me. And this is an example of how these cases actually come, not to me, but to these young ladies, a lot of times in advance before we even get there. I don't have the pictures located on my computer right now, so I can't show them to you. They will be showed once the episode is filmed and edited. But do you all want to talk a little bit about your not impersonations, but your impressions on these photos that I sent you?
Well, I mean, without seeing the photos is kind of, but I just kind of want to talk about how in general, what happens before we go to an investigation, whether it's this one specifically or ones that we've done in the past. Normally they know we're coming. So
when she means they, she means like the spirits or the dead or however you want to put it.
Yeah, not the living family. Obviously they know we're coming.
Right.
But the spirits, and we kind of get a feel for what we're walking into before we walk into it, just based on the reaction of them knowing that we're coming. Sometimes the reaction is mild and there's just a little bit of activity to let us know that they're aware that we're coming. Other times it can be threatening because they're scared. They know that we have the abilities to make them vacate the premises, whether they want to or not. And a lot of them don't like that. So when we talk about this upcoming case, all three of us have had several experiences that I would consider of a threatening nature. I've had, I've had items thrown at me. I have been pulled and poked. I have been grabbed by something extremely cold a few times. We've all seen these very fast little entities that, they've
little gremlins.
Yeah, like little gremlin looking things. Like I don't know what they are, but they're really fast. You can't get a good look at them.
No, they're like little speedies.
Yeah. So we're all having the same experiences apart from each other. So what we do in the background while you are out talking to the family and gathering, any sort of data you can get from the house or the property, while you're busy doing that of it, we're in the background talking to each other about our experiences and about our impressions. And what's interesting, I notice about the three of us, is that we tend to each get a piece of the puzzle. And so when we come together and we talk about it, we're like, oh, if you combine what happened to me with what happened to these guys, then we have a better picture of what's going on and what we need to do as a group to solve the problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, now, hopefully, within the next few weeks, we'll be able to start shooting on this particular subject we're talking about, and already 2 or 3 other cases behind that one, too. So we'll be busy once we can ever get out of the house and do it.
Yeah.
Don't everybody talk at once.
I mean, we did a case not long ago where the same type of thing happened. It was actually our first case. We didn't film it, but it was our first case as a group. And the same type of things happened. We all got a little bit of the puzzle before we went. And so I personally think it just makes us better prepared to go in.
Yeah. I think it does. Each of us having our strong point in different situations and then pulling it all together, and it's way easier to go in it as a group than going in blindsided by yourself, pretty much.
Yeah, and that's what makes us also unique, because it's so authentic, like I don't know what you're doing over there and you don't know what I'm doing over here. And when it all comes together, it's just like you said, it's just like a big puzzle.
It kind of really confirms too, when
it does.
It's really to have that validation because, I know each of us have worked on house clearings before, and we've worked together on some cases, maybe not all three of us, but, I've worked with Ashley on this one and the other Ashley on that, so we've all worked together a little bit. And so we know how each other works, which is why we decided to band together, because we've seen us in action,
That's right.
It's going to be fun.
It is have that validation, when something happens to me and then, one of you guys send me a Facebook message or something and say, hey, this just happened. And I'm like, holy crap, that happened to me yesterday, or, something similar. So.
Yeah, the validation is a big point. I like that being a group so much because even though I've been doing this for a while now, I still have that small little thing in the back of my head that's like, well, are you sure? Are you sure that's what's happening? But then I hear one of you all say something, and I'm like, okay, cool. Like,
Well,
I'm
some of
doing-
it's just so out there. It's like, whoa, come on, really?
yeah.
Do we really want to say this out loud? Like, even though
Right.
they're looking at me like, really?
Glad I'm not the only one that still thinks that, so that's good.
Right? No, you're good.
That too, and I still don't know about you, but I still get like surprised and excited every time I'm like accurate about something.
Yes.
And I'm like,
oh, I knew that.
Right. So that's what that was. Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we'll plan on doing something again soon here, won't we?
well, yeah, I mean, to sign off, let everybody know that if you're having some paranormal activity in your home or your business or any location, really, it could be your car. I don't know. Like, you think you have some paranormal activity, if you go to our page, pinned to the top of our Facebook page is a form you can fill out. When you fill that form out, it does not go to any three of us. It goes directly to Chris. Be the one contacting you, and we will not read anything. So feel free to provide any details you want. We're not gonna see it. So, and Chris will reach out to anybody that fills out that form and needs our assistance.
And on Facebook, it's Mystical Sisterhood, Tribe of the Third Eye. That's what you need to be looking for on Facebook. And we'll have another update here coming up online soon. And hopefully that episode, the first episode, the pilot, coming as soon as we can get it. So you all stay safe, stay quarantined. Ashley, both of you.
Wash your hands.
Yeah, really.
Yes. Wash your hands, please.
Ashley works in the medical field, so big fat thank you to you for.
Yes.
Yes, thanks, Ash.
Thank you.
Which is another reason we don't need to be going out. We need to keep everybody safe at home and let Ashley have rest time, because I know your life is crazy right now.
That's a nice way of putting it.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you
Well,
all.
thank-
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for being here. We'll see you next time.